My God, that was awful. And you thought the misspelling of Morton Anderson's name in the Ring of Honor was the worst thing you'd see all Sunday at the Dome? What the hell happened to the defense? Should Sean let Jameis cook? And should we fire Adam Troutman into the sun? Oh, and bring back the ramps. Also, I'm verified on Twitter now, and I deserve respect. Thomas, hit the intro.
This is Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What's with this Saints Happy podcast? This has to be the worst Saints podcast in the world. Ralph can't say anyone's name right. Andrew doesn't know football. Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave. And is Kevin even there tonight? The audio with this podcast, my God, the audio, it's painful.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't following us on Twitch, remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Also, become an annual patron on patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour to get the best Saints podcast every day. You get 2 months for free. This is where it always goes off the rail with the intro. Thomas wants me to announce who subscribed since our last show. DJ Plauche 302 and LC Rounder. It's not too bad, Thomas. I didn't butcher those names.
Let's go.
And we just had another one apparently, right? Both subscribed with Twitch Prime. And remember, you can subscribe with Twitch Prime if you use Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you anything, and like $2 of Jeff Bezos' money goes to us. Support the show. It doesn't cost you anything. You should do it. Also, Twitch clips, clip funny moments. We have clips in the channel and Discord. We use the best one. There's a clip icon to the left of the full screen icon when you hover over the live stream window. Then you go in there, editor opens, you can edit it, adjust the duration of the clip, give it an appropriate name. And you can do it during the show. And if Thomas really likes your clip and it's awesome during tonight's show, he'll run it at the end of the show. So it's amazing.
I will.
How long are we gonna look at this giant blue Twitter verified check mark over your face?
The whole
If Ralph
show.
has his way, it'll be the whole show.
What do you
yeah.
mean? What check mark?
Right.
What check
I
mark?
feel like it's kind of a gift to us, though, because while Ralph gets to brag about this newfound celebrity status, we don't have to look at his face if you
Yeah.
have this on there. So
really, it's a win for us.
it's a
I'm
catch-22.
smart.
yeah.
I'm not dumb like people say. I'm verified on Twitter. And,
Whoa,
thanks.
whoa. Being verified has nothing to do with your intelligence level, okay?
It does. I got an extra column in Twitter now. It says like mentions something else and then verified. Like it tells me all the verified people that I interact with that like my tweets. It's like the super secret club or some shit.
Oh, really?
Thanks to I want to thank Dylan and I forgot your name. They both bought me
Nice.
drinks. They both bought me drinks at the NOLA airport before my flight back.
Wait, you saw
appreciate it.
Dylan
And Grant,
Federico?
Grant, I talked to Grant. He was really nice.
Oh, you ran into fans? You got recognized in public?
Yeah, I got recognized.
Oh,
You
got
saw
free drinks
Dylan?
out of it? Sweet.
You saw Dylan Federico?
No, it wasn't Dylan.
Oh.
Federico.
It was nice. It was nice
Suave.
because walking out of the dome was horrific. We'll get to the ramps in it later on, but Andrew, you weren't on the post game because you had a bougie wedding in South Carolina or some shit. Andrew, what
Palace
the
of
hell
Versailles.
happened yesterday? What the hell happened? Me and my mom were making dinner plans. It was 21 to 10. We're like, where are we going to go to dinner before I get this flight out back to Houston? What are we going to do? We're talking about dinner, blah, blah, blah. It was in the bag, and it went off
It
the
was
rails.
in the bag, yeah. You know, I see a lot on Twitter of just meltdowns. I've seen some fire Sean Paytons.
Oh my God.
I've seen some he doesn't trust Jameis Winston. You know, a lot of takes out there, a lot of hot takes. But you know, the thing that's weird, and so much of what we're complaining about, the kicking situation, the Sean Payton decisions, a lot of it has merit, and yet that stuff all happened before the Saints were up 21 to 10
That's right.
with the ball with 7 minutes left. So it was really strange. Like, you don't see this a lot in football where it happens this way, especially to the Saints, who are good defensively. They were running the football at will in this game. And because of those two things, the way it played out was shocking. For them to be up 21-10, it's third, and there's a big play on 3rd and 2. And I really can't blame Sean Payton for this play call. It was predictable, but it was also working all day. And I mean, my God, those 2 touchdowns that Taysom Hill ran were the first
It's
one.
only the second time they've lost a 10-point lead under Sean Payton.
Wow.
It was Washington in 2008 and one other time.
Gotcha.
Detroit in 2014.
Yeah. So you have a 3rd and 2 with 7.5 minutes left, and you run a power sweep with Taysom, and it gets stuffed. And so from there, they punt, and the Gillikin outkicks his coverage. They get a good return. They're close to the 50, and then Lattimore gets caught with bad eyes. They hit that bomb to Saquon Barkley, and then they go for 2, and they make it, and it's 21-18, like that.
Is bad eyes like my bad arm? Like
kind of, yeah. He basically had Ralph vision. It's akin to that. But so they score. It's 21-18, and then it's a ball game, right? And so then the Saints they move the football, but then they have to punt, and the Giants go and they get a field goal, and then it's overtime, and the Saints never get the ball again because the Giants go down and score again. So like it was horrible. It was gut wrenching. But like I also don't want to make it more than it was. You know what I'm saying? Because like to me, it was just like you didn't finish the game. Like you played for, it's a 60-minute game. You played for 53. You dominated the game. You should have won. You outplayed the other team. You were up 21-10 with the ball. Like that's a 99 percentile kind of win. And they just blew it. They blew it at the end. And I kind of just want to chalk that up to just like, that's a unicorn for you to lose a game like that. But it's also super deflating.
It's a cesspool unicorn. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Andrew. You know, yesterday, Ralph, you and I, we went to the game, then we did the post game. We were obviously very upset. I think being there in person and watching it in person, you know, makes you even more upset. But you know, after sleeping on it last night and thinking about it all day, I think I kind of fall in the camp with Andrew in so much as, yeah, they played good enough football for 3 quarters. I mean, it wasn't their best football. And yes, the Giants aren't a great team, but they were beating a team that they were supposed to beat, which, hey, that's an accomplishment just in and of itself for the Saints. But they were beating a team. And to me, and what I think I've realized is that they didn't lose this game. They're not. It's not a talent issue. They're still a talented team. They were talented enough in the first 3 quarters to be beating this team. They're still the same team. They're definitely a more talented team than the Giants. I think, like
they're only gonna be more talented when they get like 7 dudes back.
This was just a mental breakdown. I think this was just a mental breakdown. Whether they got cocky and took their foot off the gas, or whether I don't know why, but this was just a sort of comedy of errors, of mistakes, and you know, like Lattimore getting burned, that doesn't happen too often. Like, this is a pretty good defense. Lattimore getting burned is pretty good.
Well,
Adebo got burned or whatever. Adebo's been playing pretty well as of late.
He got burnt like toy cooked toast.
You know, the only area I think where I would criticize the performance or the play, I would say, is like we talked about defensive line. I mean, there was just like no pressure whatsoever.
Well, I think
that was kind of by design, I will say. But
well,
we can talk about that more later.
And that's fine. That may be. But that design, I guess, you know, wasn't.
I mean, it was working until it didn't, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And what I saw from the Saints was a couple things. I think they rushed 3 and 4 most of that game, and there wasn't a lot of exotic stuff. And they started to run some stunts and some weird stuff later in the game. But for the most part, it was 3 or 4 guys bull rushing, and the idea was to keep Daniel Jones in the pocket. And they didn't really care, I don't think, if they sacked him. It was really about he's missing 2 receivers. So let's match up our corners against the receivers. Let's keep him in the pocket. Let's see if he can beat us.
And he beat him. And he burned him to the ground.
Yeah. So but it was 21-10, and you make that first down there on 3rd and 2, and the game's probably over.
I mean, they had like 225 yards on like 5 plays. Like the Saints hadn't given up a play. I think the Saints had given up 1 play of like over 30 yards. They gave up 3 yesterday.
But that's the great neutralizer. When you hit that long ball to John Ross and you hit that long ball to Barkley, that's 14 points on 2 plays right
Barkley,
there. 15 points.
Barkley, I can stomach because he was a great player before he injured his knee and he's getting back healthy. That is literally the greatest play of John Ross's career. He is a freaking busty bust.
Yeah.
And Adebo, you're back to unvaccinated corner. Like, you treated that football in the end zone
Terrible
like it was
play
a
by Marcus
vaccination
Williams
shot.
there,
You
by the
wanted
way.
no part of it. Like, dude, just pick it up. Like, come on. It was horrifying.
Yeah, this defense on the 2-point conversion was that was
Reminded-
like the Red Sea parting.
The only
If they
thing
could
that
have
was
just stopped him on that 2-point
the only thing that was
conversion, they would've
missing
never
was
won the
him
game.
dropping the snap and me having a flashback to Dante Culpepper in 2002.
Why are you doing this to us, Thomas?
I
This
don't
is
know.
like putting
never-
us on a torture
Well, I
rack.
mean, we gotta
Love made me-
show the highlights to talk about the crap defense.
I didn't rewatch the game, so this is like the first time I'm watching it from the television feed. It looks way worse on TV than it did in person.
It is. It looked, well, you know, and I want Thomas.
Why is that quality
play,
so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone.
Thomas, play the clip of Sean Payton.
What the hell was Marcus Williams doing there?
That was
They-
awful.
He
Daydreaming?
just stuck his arm out. What was
Yeah.
that? I could have done that.
He cut inside and he just completely whiffed.
I mean, he might as
It was
well.
like
might as
getting
well
your
have just,
ankles broken.
Might as
The
well,
don't
might as
pay
well
Marcus
just-
Williams people had a good day
Oh my
yesterday.
God! Jesus Christ! You might as well have stuck his head down and just threw his body and dove.
But I want to get to Dennis Allen's lack of adjusting in a minute. But Thomas, play the sound of Sean Payton talking about the big plays just murdered the Saints yesterday.
Yeah, that hit us today. It was one of the keys to victory. It was knowing that, you know, this is a team that if they're able to make plays in the passing game down the field or explosive runs, that's something that's very, very critical in their success. And so, no easy ones was one of the keys. We didn't do a good enough job of doing that. There were a number of chunk plays, more so than we've seen this year.
Andrew, I know you said, look, they wanted to rush, they wanted to contain Daniel Jones, and they wanted him to beat them. And I get that that's the plan, and it was working until it wasn't. But at what point, when you're Dennis Allen, like at 21-18, at 21-21, at what point do you like, it isn't working anymore, I got to go full Greg Williams, I got to do something? Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough because you send the house and the coverage lapses that we saw without the blitzing is what you fear. And it happened anyway. I get that. But that's easy in hindsight to say I should have done that. But, you know, I think he was also probably like Adebo is a guy that's been having a good career a good few games up to this point. And so maybe he's going to step up and get a big interception in overtime, right? You're putting confidence in your guys, and they just didn't deliver on that last drive at all. Malcolm Jenkins missed a big tackle, which is really uncharacteristic, and they got a big run after that missed tackle. So, I think a lot of things happened that we didn't expect in that game. 0 pass rush. Lattimore played poorly. Adebo played even worse. Marcus Williams didn't play great. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson didn't play great. So, usually we're expecting those guys to...
The Juice Boys, that's what they named themselves. The Juice Boys. They were the Juice Box Boys.
I don't think anyone, including the
juice box.
I don't think anyone, including Giants fans, expected Tony and John Ross to play the way they did.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. But I want to go back real quick to Sean Payton because I feel like a lot of people are criticizing his decision making. And I think it's fair. There were 3 moments for me in this game.
Well, Andrew, before you get to those, I want Thomas play Sean Payton's explanation for the 57-yard field goal because the decision
58.
was ridiculous. His explanation was even more ridiculous.
Yeah, at some point we got to be able to kick a field goal. But look, hindsight, I would have punted. I mean, I felt that way after he missed it, and all of a sudden we're up a play or two later. They're scoring a touchdown. I think it was either the next play or the next play. So
See, to me, that's ridiculous because I listen to that and I'm like, first of all, no kicker is a given to hit a 58-yarder. Like for him to say at some point we got to make a kick, like that was a 58-yard kick. It's not a
That's
given
the
for any field
I
goal.
heard
And he passed on kick on. He had 4th and 3 on a 47-yarder. He went for it. They got stopped, and then he had 4th and 3 from 58 yards out, and he kicked that one. How much sense does that make?
That's the dumbest thing Sean Payton's ever said. He
Yeah,
said
it
at
makes
some
no
point we have to
sense.
kick a field goal. That's like me, Dave. That's like me saying, I got my cousin Billy Bob to remove my wisdom teeth with some channel locks because at some point I have to get my wisdom teeth out. There's
Well,
a time and a place for everything. That was
But
the
if
thing,
you're going to kick
that's
the
the
field
dumbest
goal,
thing
you
he's ever
feel
said.
better. You feel better about the one that's 11 yards closer, right?
Yeah, make that, you know.
So I don't
I
understand that. The
I heard
challenge, the freaking challenge, that was the most asinine thing. I don't know if he was doing it to just prove a point that he's been hating the spots all day, which actually
Right.
I would kind of applaud him if he was proving a point. But
Right.
it was 2nd and inches. They give him the first, they gave him the first down, and it would have been 3rd and inches. They would have QB sneaked out with Daniel Jones, and he would have gotten a first down anyway. Like, why are you? And it wasn't even a good challenge. He lost the timeout. So I hated that. I hated the whole field goal thing. And then
What about
the
the Taysom pass
Taysom
after
pick. Well,
Jameis?
it's like they just beat the safeties deep for a touchdown. I get that there was a flag and it came back, but it was like like the safeties they just got embarrassed. They're obviously going to be looking for the deep ball after they just got owned.
Right, but you don't think
and then
Payton's thinking we're going to put Taysom in, so they're going to think it's a run. They're going to think it's a Taysom run.
Yeah,
But
except there's a problem there.
Taysom sucks
Taysom's
at the
deep ball is far inferior.
Like,
So
how many
let's
times
put the guy
does
with the
Taysom
worst
have to
arm in
underthrow
there.
a deep ball for Sean Payton to stop doing it?
Oh my God, that was so frustrating. And again, though, like all that stuff we're talking about, the field goal decisions, the Taysom throw, like trying to force Taysom. And look, a lot of people are criticizing the forcing Taysom stuff. Like the pick was bad, but like the 2 touchdown runs, like he's insane in the red zone and he's insane in short yardage. It's very effective. So, when it gets stuffed on 3rd and 2 with 7.5 minutes left, I don't really blame Sean Payton for that play call because like
to the well.
the Giants know it's coming and they haven't been able to stop it. So, I could go either way on that, but my point here is all this stuff happened, and yet it was still 21-10 Saints with 7.5 minutes left. And so, like, this wasn't about Sean Payton's mistakes. This was about a team being up 11 and just like a comedy of errors from the pass rush and the secondary to gag the game up.
But Dave,
That's what it was.
Do they need a new kicker though? Because they're going to be in close games until Lutz gets back. Do they need a new kicker for Sunday?
Is Lutz not coming back on Sunday?
Isn't he?
I think he needs a couple more weeks, is what I last heard.
Well,
Yeah.
great, because I picked him to be
my
hero of the game.
They had Vilma, which was awesome, by the way. I thought Vilma was great calling that game. I don't know. Yeah, you guys obviously didn't hear Vilma call the game, but Vilma was great, and I really enjoyed that. And he mentioned that Sean Payton told him that they had the big graphic again with all the guys that are out, basically saying that like after the bye they're getting all 7 of these players back. Sean Payton told me that. So what's the bye week again? Is it week 6?
It's
early,
next week.
yeah.
It's next week. They got Washington, then a bye, then Seattle. Right?
And Seattle's after the bye.
Yeah.
So I think they're basically expecting to get almost their entire team back for that game.
Yeah. So they're just gonna ride it out like one more week of Rosa.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it too is just the COVID situation. Like I don't know that they want to try a bunch of kickers that have been around the country, and they just had half their coaching staff get knocked out. So I don't think when it's a temporary job anyway, I don't really think Sean Payton's interested in bringing. I do think that's a factor. Like there's just less like trying a bunch of guys out midweek. That's just not happening as much as it has in years past.
So, Dave, I didn't even realize this during the game, but Jameis hit 12 passes in a row, and he was sort of cooking. So, my question to you is, off of yesterday's game, should Sean Payton have more confidence in Jameis? And not that he's going to throw it 40, 45 times like he's Drew Brees, but should he throw it 30, 31, 32 times? I mean, these throws, these are big time. This is why Jameis was the #1 pick.
That's a great throw. The throw to Callaway was great. The throw to Stills that got called back.
The throw to Montgomery was great. I mean, that's a great throw and move there.
Boom.
I mean,
yeah, there was the other one to
throws.
Montgomery along the sideline, I think,
Yep.
because I think that was right in front of me where I was sitting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here it comes. I mean, that is just too easy.
Yeah, and good for Stills for getting open. Yeah, I mean, through 4 games, he's got 2 interceptions just in that one game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the 1 interception today wasn't him, or yesterday wasn't him. That was Taysom.
Was he at 9 touchdowns? Is he at 9
Yep.
touchdowns?
8.
Yeah,
I think he has 9.
I don't know. So he's 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, or maybe 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, he's not lighting the league on fire. He's not lighting anything on fire, but I think his stats are definitely
he has 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think his stats are definitely what Payton has wanted. I think it's been pretty obvious that Sean Payton has wanted Jameis to be safe and be safe with the ball and not turn it over and not be the Jameis that people are constantly making fun of him for being. And I think he's been very successful at that. I honestly, and like we said on the post game, I kind of feel bad because I feel like Taysom is getting these touchdowns when they're getting deep in the red
Jameis
zone.
money.
And Jameis isn't getting these stats. He's not getting, maybe potentially hitting whatever incentives. But yes, I think that Sean's got to extend the leash a little bit. I really do.
It's a small. I just want to point this out. So look at the stats. This is a small sample size. You know, first they're 4 games in, so it's the first quarter of the season. Right now, he has 64% completion rate. His career is 61.4. So completion percentage is up. He's averaging 7.1 yards per completion. And for his career, it's 7.7. So that is down by half a yard. He has 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His quarterback rating is 106.4. And career, he's 87.5. So efficiency-wise, yards per pass are down a tiny bit, but otherwise he's playing the best football of his life from an efficiency standpoint. So I would like to see the usage ramped up.
Yeah, I would like to see him, you know, and again, we talked about on the post game. I don't think that the receivers are that terrible. I don't think that it's that they're not getting open. I think that they're out there. He can throw to them. He's just maybe has to make some decisions quicker or whatever. But I think that he could be doing a lot better than he's doing, and maybe that comes with an extra turnover. But I mean, you know, last week he slings it up while he's falling down in hell. He turned it into a touchdown. I mean,
God turned it into a touchdown.
Yesterday. Well, yeah, okay, and yesterday Jameis throws into double coverage on that sideline throw to Callaway, but Callaway makes the catch. I'm sorry, but if Drew Brees makes that throw, they're not talking about how that was a bad decision. They're talking about how only Drew could throw it into that tight window. Well, maybe Jameis just threw it right into that tight window on that pass. Okay, and second of all, and I'm dead serious, and tell me I'm wrong. Okay, second of all, Patrick Mahomes. We talked about how. I made the point about how if Patrick Mahomes made the throw that Jameis Winston made last week, everybody would have said, "Oh, that's that takes skill, and he's just so crazy and experimental." Okay, Patrick Mahomes did his little underhand thing on the goal line that wound up into a touchdown. If Jameis Winston did that,
Saints Twitter would have an aneurysm.
Forget it. They would go crazy. So there is a double standard. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. You all are making me sound like Jameis 101. This is ridiculous. This is freaking ridiculous. Holy crap. This is ridiculous.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
Well, here's
But
my
I'm
one
dead.
point.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Andrew pointed it out. Then, if you look at the stats, the numbers bear out. He's having a decent season. He's doing okay. He's not turning the ball over. So go ahead and loosen the chains a
Well,
little bit.
he's having the best
Or
season of his. He's on pace to have a career year
right.
of
So
efficiency.
let him cook a
But
little bit. And if he throws, maybe that
but he,
you might be taking a chance with an interception. But I mean, hell, every
here's
quarterback
my
is going to throw an
question
interception.
though, resident tape eater Andrew Juge. He can't cook if the receivers ain't open. So as you watch the tape from yesterday, is it still an issue of these receivers low key suck and they ain't open, and that's Jameis's biggest issue right now?
No, I mean, I think yesterday it was interesting to see the Saints, especially early in the game. I mean, if you look at how Jameis played in this game, I would say the first several throws, he looked skittish. He looked a little lacking in confidence, scared to rip it, and he's kind of short arming it. And so he started kind of flat and poor. And then there was a bunch of scripted throws. And I'm talking about, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage to Deontay, the bubble screen or the tunnel screen of Deontay, the play action fake rollout where Taysom cuts against the grain and it's the dump off to Taysom. So there was a bunch of just like little scripted throws. There was a swing pass to Kamara, which was technically a run, but because he threw it backwards, but it was a pass. And so there was a bunch of scripted throws that were very like Drew Breesy calls. Like this was the offense with Drew Brees. But what that does is it draws the defense in, and like now you have a guy with an arm where he can actually go vertical on you. And so I actually thought the game plan was pretty good offensively because it drew the defense in, and then boom, he hit Callaway, boom, he hit Stills, and he was able to start going vertical, and that's when he was able to hit Ty Montgomery, made a play down the field, Juwan Johnson for the touchdown. And so I think things started to open up for the Saints when they kind of ran that Drew Brees offense at first, and it was a lot of dump off passes. And I think it gave Jameis Winston some confidence too, because he got in a rhythm, completing some passes. But the big thing for me that we saw was protection. I mean, he had time to throw, and I think we saw what our receivers can do, and we saw what Jameis Winston can do when the protection is good. And 0 QB hits, 0 sacks. That's by far the best the offensive line has played. I don't think it was an accident that they weren't on the road, that they were at home. I think that helped a lot. But that's how the offensive line has to play for Jameis to look like that.
Dave, Tony Jones got hurt yesterday. We don't know. I didn't see anything about his ankle. Kamara, he had 26 carries again yesterday. And the thing is with those Kamara, the touches and the carries he's getting, those aren't the normal. When Drew Brees was quarterback, Kamara might have had, he would have 6-7 catches, but a lot of times he would catch the ball, it'd be 10, 12, 14 yards, and he'd just step out of bounds and nobody would hit him. Those carries yesterday were between the tackles, and he was getting rocked some of the time. I'm worried. Let's give Kamara 25 carries. That cannot be a long-term strategy. And now Tony Jones Jr., Kevin's UDFA son, is hurt. I'm worried about running back in a sense of they got to find somebody to do a little bit of something. They can't be giving the ball to Kamara every time they hand it off.
Is that Stevie Scott's music?
It's Thomas.
Is Stevie Scott still in the league?
Of his UDFA son rising from the grave.
I mean,
Can we get Scott these days?
Can we get Latavius Murray back, please?
Latavius.
Stevie Scott is on the Broncos, I believe.
Oh.
Somebody said sign Le'Veon Bell from the practice squad of the Ravens, I think. I think they made him active. I'm not sure. But Andrew, what are like?
But is Dwayne Washington? But like Dwayne Washington was the next man up. I mean,
he was.
What about Ty Montgomery? Can we bring Ty Montgomery back to be?
Yeah, he had a handoff. He had 2 carries. He played some halfback.
I mean, like, where do you think they go? Is Ty Montgomery now the guy that gets Tony Jones's touches, or is it
Probably,
Washington?
yeah, right.
I think Washington is purely a special teams guy, and I think
Right.
Washington was forced to, carry the ball and play a little running back just because of the situation that they were in. It's not dissimilar, I think, from the Simeon thing, where if they have an injury in game, they're forced to play Trevor Simeon, and then the following week when they have time to prepare, they would go to Taysom, right? And so I think it's kind of like that, where if they have a week to prepare, my guess is that Washington
Vince
doesn't
says
have
bring
much of a
Ingram home. The Texans are an atrocity.
Yeah, they're not
Mickey ought to
using
make
him.
that. Mickey
Isn't Mark Ingram starting for them though?
Yes.
Dude,
They
it
don't know what
doesn't
they're
matter.
doing.
They
just
traded us
front-loaded
rope.
nothing.
Like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
They are an abomination.
Yeah.
Like, Mickey, call up the
Hashtag
Texans.
save Ingram.
Give
How
him
did
a
the Texans win a
The
game?
thing is, though, if Ingram comes back, he's got to get rid of the single-digit number. He's got to go back to his old jersey number.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
clearly.
speaking of that, Pete Werner wearing 20. I hate that.
He
I
does.
cannot stand that he wears 20. That drives me nuts. I had no idea that was Pete Werner. I was like, which
Who is the
cornerback
white
is that?
guy?
Yeah, I was like, who's this cornerback that I didn't know that we had playing in the secondary? And I'm like, oh shit, he's a linebacker. I hate this shit. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I don't
It
understand.
doesn't
this.
change the fact that he played so well. It doesn't get
No. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, the
I
NFL
can
takes
learn to
all
love
the
it.
fun out of the NFL takes all the fun out of the league. This is the one area where they want to like try and be cool is changing the numbers. Go back to this.
What
is the
about-
one area where they should be old fashioned is when it comes to the numbers and the positions.
What about Quan Alexander with number 5? Does that anger
No, I
you
hate
as much?
Budrich is like, I
No.
thought Crawley was back.
Yeah,
Number 20. I thought Crawley was back and he had turned white.
yeah, I hate that Quan Alexander wears number 5, but at least it's a 5, so it's like semi-reminiscent of a
Well-
linebacker. But yes, I hate that. It's fine.
Well, here,
Wait,
can't
so
stand it.
5 is better than 20? Explain that to me.
Because it's a 5, so it's got a 5 in it. Linebackers need to have a 5 in their number.
Right.
well, at least the Saints, Andrew, they just kept drafting linebackers and they were eventually going to stumble on one. Busty Bond might be a bust, but Pete Werner, they're just like, we're gonna keep picking goddamn linebackers and we're gonna hit on one. So maybe it's Werner.
Maybe.
He's
he,
the one.
He was great in that game, and as bad as Bond was the week prior, or 2 weeks prior, I feel like now they have a guy where they feel good if Quan Alexander's out that he can fill in and play at a good level. So.
Here's the question: Bond was a guy who was excelled in training camp, but he struggled. They go to Werner. And Adebo, we mentioned he struggled. He didn't fall on the fumble that John Ross had. He could have picked it up and it wouldn't have been a touchdown. He also got eviscerated. Like Daniel Jones was just like, where is Adebo? I'm throwing at him. He got burned.
So are we back to
Yeah.
unvaccinated corner then?
We might be. Because this is a horrible play. Like dude.
Yeah,
like, he's
what are you
just
doing,
like,
buddy?
Oh,
Finish the
Dude,
play.
what
They
are you
teach you this is
doing?
football 101, where they teach you to pick up the loose ball even if it's like an incomplete pass.
Yeah. I mean, Adebo just wherever he was, they were like, where is he? Find him, roast him.
Maybe he got vaccinated. Maybe that's why. I told you he should not get vaccinated.
Yeah.
This one is the best.
That's the missed tackle by Malcolm Jenkins there. Can you play that one again? Can you rewind that? Oh, here we go. So terrible coverage lets him go, and then Malcolm Jenkins misses the tackle twice. That was horrible.
I mean, it's surreal.
This is the
It's
deep ball.
relay.
Marcus Williams played that poorly as well.
Every time Adebo never gets the fumble. When's he
my
going to pick up the fumble? But it's time to play Roby, right, Andrew? They traded the 3rd round pick.
Well, so I was arguing with some people on Twitter about this one too, because Lattimore also played terrible in this game, and it's not like we're lobbying to bench him. So, and I get that Adebo's been playing well up to this point, so it does feel a little heavy-handed to be like, oh, you played one bad game, you're out. But look, I think the plan all along was you don't pick up a guy of Roby's caliber and trade a 3rd round pick unless the eventual plan is for him to play. So it's been great that Adebo's been playing well, and I think he's deserved to remain a starter based on his play up to this point. But like, what's the point in getting a guy like Roby and giving up a 3rd round pick if you're not going to play him at the first sign of trouble? And so, yeah, it is a little unfair to Adebo because he has been good, but I think we all see this pretty clearly that Roby is a better player at this stage of his career. So
Either way, good problem to have.
Good problem to have, but I make that switch absolutely.
Yeah. Dave, the crowd yesterday, we talked about it on the Instant Reaction podcast that it was kind of meh. I think it was kind of the crowd was not that great because the Saints were sort of in control the whole second half. So like the crowd, we were just like I said at the beginning, me and my mom were making dinner plans, and
My mom.
it just like we had to go from like it's a nice leisurely easy double-digit win to oh my god it's a crisis, we gotta like scream and yell to like try to help the Saints save this game. So the crowd was mad, and oh by the way, the mask wearing is non-existent, and my son is working on his vocabulary and his vowels. I should have had him write on a piece of paper, on a piece of cardboard, my dad is vaxxed. I could have given that to the Superdome guy. He would have let me in.
Yeah, look, I don't know, it's a week 4 game at noon, so it's never going to be the craziest, loudest, wildest game. And like you said, we really didn't have to get too into it and get too loud or make a big deal about it until the very end when we were like, oh crap, this is actually becoming a game. So wait, where did you go to? And also, there probably been, but up until the fourth quarter, people were probably still trying to get through the security line and get into the game. Where did you end up going to eat?
I went to my
Because
brother's.
you make it seem like you were going to go out to eat if the Saints won, and you were not going to eat, starve yourself if the Saints lost.
They lost, so I went to my brother's and he made his fajitas and quesadillas. It was nice.
So your brother's home cooking is punishment food. Got it.
No, my brother is an excellent.
That's where you want to go when you want to.
My brother's
drown in
an
your
my brother's
sorrows.
an excellent.
My brother.
My brother. Yeah. So, listen, and they had quite a few empty seats. I thought yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was surprised. I don't know if people
But I
just
think,
aren't
but
going.
I do
because
think
of
this: if the Saints
COVID thing.
get one, if the Saints win one of the next two, and they're 3-3, that crowd on Halloween at 3:30 versus Brady will be lit. So,
Yeah. I don't know. I
think
still
it's that
don't know
big
if
of an
I'm
issue
going to
now.
that game or not.
Well, we'll see.
What?
I
So,
don't know.
I want to. It's Halloween. It's Halloween, and it's at 3:30. It's the worst possible time. to have your-
Dude, we've been over this. It's my daughter's birthday. It's horrible. It's horrible.
So I got.
Like
I
I would,
remind
if it was
people-
1 o'clock, it'd be fine because then you just knock it
Yeah,
out.
you could wrap
early,
it up. You'd
but,
be like, your
yeah.
birthday starts at 4:30, baby.
Yeah.
It makes
But
me
now
want to vomit.
You can't go trick or treating at 1 o'clock. You
No,
know,
you really
we're gonna get this in early.
terrible. So, but I want to remind people, if you have Amazon Prime, then you could subscribe to our channel for free with Twitch Prime. So go ahead and do it because that's better than free money, right? It's basically you telling Jeff Bezos to give us his money. And if you're listening to the audio version, please go to twitch.tv/Saints Happy Hour and give us some love. Injury updates for the Saints. They came through the game pretty healthy, Andrew. And Washington, actually, I saw Adam Schefter tweeted, they're going to be without their all-pro guard, Brandon, how do you say his name? Sheriff?
Sheriff.
Yeah,
Sheriff.
Yeah.
He'll be without him
Sheriff.
and their tight end, Logan Thomas.
Just
So-
Sheriff, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good
Well,
injury news. for
you
the
know
Saints.
who was missing some guys? It was the Giants.
They were.
and that didn't seem
matter
to
at
really
all.
make a big impact. Now, did it, Ralph?
It did not.
So it did in fact not. And so, I'm not too preoccupied with other teams or who they're missing right now. I'm a little preoccupied by making field goals, a little preoccupied by maybe getting a little bit of a pass rush going, and maybe not challenging spots of the ball when they're an inch away from the first down either way.
Oh.
That kind of stuff.
Well, listen, we'll get to the we got the hotline tonight is
Oh,
a gre-
God.
it's
I
a
can
grease
only
fire.
imagine.
It's a grease
Yeah.
fire, but we got to get to trivia before that.
But
Thomas,
hold
hit us
on.
with
Like
the
the
trivia.
thing about one real quick, like we got to remember, like, Sean Payton's human. He makes mistakes. Like he's still a top 5 NFL coach. Like these Saints fans on Twitter that are just like, fire Sean Payton, fire the staff. Like the league's caught up with Sean Payton. Just stop it. Stop
I
it.
feel like Dave, you're a gambler. You do a poker night. I just feel like Sean Payton yesterday, in every big moment or big hand of poker, like he just made the wrong decision at every key moment, and it happens sometimes.
Look,
except for the Taysom Hill touchdown runs.
Yeah,
Those are freaking awesome.
Yeah, look, I'm not that. The one decision I'm mad at is the field goal. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. I don't know why he thought. Like I said, everybody in that goddamn Superdome.
Everyone knew he was missing that.
Yes,
maybe he thought he would get like revenge adrenaline.
The Giants got rid of Rosas. They knew he was
revenge,
missing
revenge adrenaline.
Yeah, that decision made no sense. But the Taysom throw after Jameis makes it, I'm okay with it. Like I said, I think they were thinking, okay, well, they just went deep, so now Taysom's in. They're going to run it and forget it. He'll go deep. But
we would have been insufferable on Twitter if Taysom makes that throw.
Exactly.
Oh my god!
We would have been like,
they would have taken my check mark away.
Ralph
Oh
would have
my
been
God.
screaming nerds for 10 days straight.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean that's one of those plays that you hate only because it doesn't work. So, but he's fine. This is ridiculous. Like Sean Payton has earned so much leeway and so much respect from everybody, or at least he should be respected. That this is merely a blip on the radar, my friends.
Yeah.
By the way, Ralph, it's a nice touch that after Dave mentioned how much he hates the number 20, that you put a Pete Werner fathead on
you
your
got
wall.
the Pete Werner. The Rosas fathead came down. Pete Werner is up.
Who is the shipping company that you use that you get them so quickly?
XPS.
Dave's like, I need to employ these people.
I don't hate the number 20. I don't hate the number 20. I hate it for a linebacker.
So Thomas, get to the trivia.
47 with Anzalone was kind of weird too.
Yeah, that's true.
People in Detroit,
yes,
they hate Anzalone already. People in Detroit. Thomas, get to the trivia question.
I feel like you can play the Tecmo Bowl injury music with Anzalone too, because he was always hurt.
He's hurt. I don't have the. Oh, yeah, I do. The injury music. Thomas, get to the trivia. It's courtesy of Budrich.
Yes, Ralph mentioned courtesy of Budrich, and the trivia question is pretty long this time. The Saints currently hold the active streak for most consecutive games without being shut out. When was the last time they got shut out?
Ooh, I think
That picture looks like Jimmy Graham. That silhouette looks like Jimmy Graham.
You think so?
No, I think I know it. I think it's 2002.
No.
49ers. That's when I think it is.
I think that's Jimmy Graham, so I'm going to say 2010. I don't know what game.
They've never been shut out in the
Payton era?
No chance.
No.
There's no chance. What are you saying, Ralph?
I said San Francisco 2002 or 2003. Remember in the Hazlitt, they were like 7-5 and they crashed and burned and they got beat like 40-10 and 40-0 the last 2 weeks. I think it's 2000.
Oh, yes. No, it was the 49ers and Steve Mariucci was the coach. You're absolutely right. Yes. Remember this was like week 17.
Yeah, it was like the season
last
finale.
game of the season, and I remember Mariucci just being like shaking Hazlitt's hand at the end and being like, "What the hell is that?" This is what the whole Willie Roaf and Joe Horn thing was going on.
Yeah.
And the Saints basically
I might have the year
forfeited.
wrong, but I think we got the game right.
I think that was the 2001 season, but it might have been January 2002.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Roll
that beautiful beam footage.
Yeah.
What's your final answer, guys? Final
answer. San Francisco 2001.
49ers in 2001. Yep, that's it. It's got to be it.
And the answer is...
But Brooks wasn't on that team, was he?
He was. Of course he was.
Oh, yeah, he
38
was,
nothing
he was.
Niners.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
By the
Nice
way,
one.
I'm watching Monday Night Football. They just put up a graphic, because the Saints have the most offensive yards per game average from their 2011 season. The Raiders are currently beating out
The
the
Raiders'
Saints.
offense is ridiculous.
They're averaging like 470 something yards per game.
Are they playing that game? They had I don't understand how the
Yes, it's
Raiders
on
have a
right now.
dome stadium and they had a lightning delay. I didn't understand that.
My memory from that game is that Jeff Garcia just threw another touchdown pass.
I remember the post game. Buddy D was like, Jim Hazlitt did win a playoff game, but we might need to fire him. Like after
Yeah.
2001 season. So
Yeah.
the hotline, which people call in when the Saints have a great win, but they call even more when we have something a disaster like it was yesterday.
It was crazy.
The hotline was a complete.
How many total calls did we get?
Oh, dude, Thomas, was it like 20 or so?
I think we broke the record like easily.
Yeah, we had to condense it.
This is the
Listeners were so
proudest. This
mad.
is the proudest day of my life.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is a grease.
This is your crown jewel day.
This is a
You
grease
can
fire.
put this on my grave.
This has one of my favorite calls ever because a guy, he's really angry, but then he sees a pretty girl during the call, and you just have to listen to it. So, Thomas, play the hotline.
I don't know if it made the cut, man. It was 10 minutes long. I had to cut it. I don't know if it made it even.
Yeah, we'll see. Play it. Play
Play it, Thomas.
It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
I just want to conduct a search party for Sean Payton's balls.
So it. That's it. That's the voicemail. That's it. Play me on the show. Or don't play me on the show. I don't give a
Well, it's pretty fucking obvious we're no longer in the Breeze era of, back in the dome, back in the home field advantage. It fucking sucked today. I can't imagine how miserable it was, Ralph, to be there in person and watch us fucking fall apart. What was the strength of our team? Defense. Where was the fucking defense? We were fucking miserable today against an 0-3 shit fucking team. 2-2. All right, let's go.
I thought Carolina's game was a shit show. This one was completely fucking worse.
Hey guys, it's Adam from Maryland again, the radio voice giving you guys a call. Love your podcast, listen to you all the time. Well, that was embarrassing. The Saints are looking at maybe 7 wins this year. They're not that good. You come home after X amount of days and you lose at home in the dome in front of your home crowd that way to the winless Giants, they're terrible. Ralph, you said it. We're going to have fun watching them win, or we're going to have fun watching them implode. They are imploding. This is a 6-win team at best.
Calm down.
What the crap? Did Brandon Browner just take over the body of Malcolm Jenkins or something? I mean, I don't drink, but I think I'm about to start.
This loss is totally on Sean Payton. He coached like a bitch the second half. Jameis finally started cooking, started looking good, made some really nice deep throws, and then he neutered him. Sean Payton neutered him.
I don't know. Everything. You guys and the goddamn Saints. Gail Benson. That's it. Gail Benson for a goddamn game experience that was complete shit.
Someone checked Dennis Allen for short-term memory loss because apparently the guy kept forgetting that zone coverage is what was getting the Saints just devastated on defense. And also, why is Rosa still on the team? A dead corpse could kick better than that.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda ain't good enough.
I gotta say, what the happened to Sean Payton's balls, like the prior caller said? Ever since he's got Jameis Winston, who is the number one goddamn gambler in the NFL, he's been playing it conservative. That makes no sense. That'd be like hiring my gambling addict father to be an accountant.
I blame Ralph. Every time we get a podcast with smug, dismissive Ralph saying the other team's got no chance, that's when the Saints cough up a hairball. Oh, and the rotten cherry on the shit sundae is going to be the stat that Ralph has to eat all the crow from the stat nerds, talking about the interception from Taysom that turned the game. Anyway, not the end of the world. Jameis looks better. Callaway is back, and we're still 2-2, right where we hoped we'd be this summer. So it's going to be all right. Nobody hyperventilate, but everybody pile on Ralph.
That was amazing.
That was a great segment.
If you want to become a patron, and you can get the
calling out.
uncensored version with the drunk guy flirting with the girl as he's venting again on Sean Payton, and that's why you need to be a patron. But the hotline is, Dave. This is like a Hall of Fame one, I think.
Yeah, no, this was definitely
strong.
a good one. Yeah, strong to very strong.
Gucci, a little Tostito action there, Dave. Oh, everything but the bagel.
I'm worried. I got the fantasy stink off of Juwan Johnson, but I'm worried that I might get relegated out of the Saints Happy Hour fantasy football leagues because my teams are fucking atrocious this year. No one cares.
They're not much worse than mine.
As always. So Thomas, hit the music. We got to get to the question.
In my league.
The questions.
The question.
This is from Morton Anderson. Is that with an O or an E? I thought that was in the rundown.
Of course they were going to lose. They were doomed for failure. You don't misspell Morton Anderson's name and expect to win.
Desecrate the Ring of Honor.
I thought this topic was in the rundown. I thought we were supposed to be talking about this.
We can talk about it.
Where's the finger guns, Ralph?
Finger guns.
But wasn't it in the rundown? Did I not see it in the rundown?
I might have mentioned it at the top. I don't think it was in the rundown.
Dave, chew your food, for God's sake.
What do you want me to do?
You can taste it now.
You're not washing that down with an IPA, Dave? I'm shocked.
I am. I just ran out. I gotta go get another one.
So, Thomas, let's get going.
What next?
Yeah.
Okay, first question comes from JMU Who Dat. Is the dome field advantage dead? It seems like every heartbreaking moment I can remember in the last 8 years is at home.
Yeah, I think it's dead. I really do.
I mean, it's close.
Well, you know what?
It's on life support.
Well, I say it's dead, but like,
it's all Rod's fault.
We just need 1 or 2 hits with the defibrillator, and then.
Okay. I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said. Okay, yes, you just said it needs 1 or 2 hits from the defibrillator, and then bring it back. In your analogy, what are hits from the defibrillator? The hits from the defibrillator are the Saints winning some goddamn games and getting some good moments.
I was thinking the hit was the embarrassment of losing to the winless Giants.
No. They win the next 2 weeks, Dave, and be 4-2, and they're facing Tampa, and they're 4-2, and Tampa's 5-1 or whatever, and it's 3:30 on Halloween. It'll all be back, like
right.
the bedlam, all of it.
But my point is the only ones that can bring back the dome field advantage is the Saints themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas.
What next?
Okay, next question from Saints to Dev, and he asks, worst coaching decision: sending Rosas out there to kick a 58-yarder or not sending him out there to kick a 48-yarder?
I'm pretty sure it was 47 that he didn't send him out for. Just for the record.
Mean, it's
just to make it a little worse.
Both are equally horrible. It's like trying to choose the cousin that you hate the most.
You guys were at the stadium, so you didn't see this. This is slightly off topic, but Graham Gano, I don't know if you remember this, he lined up to kick a 35-yarder. And right. The announcers jinxed him so effing hard. Like, they went on a rant about how, like it was like 35, and it's like, Graham Gano is automatic, and they put up this graphic. He hasn't missed a kick in 37 straight attempts. There's no way this guy ever misses. He's on fire, and then he hooks it, and he misses the kick, and then Jonathan Vilma wouldn't let it go the rest of the game. He's like, you totally jinxed that guy. He's like, that is the announcer's jinx. That is an egregious error. Like, you are at fault for this. And you could tell, I forget the guy's name that he was announcing the game with, but he was some old stiff white guy, and you could just tell he was kind of a little offended. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna blame me for that, huh?" And Bill was like, "Yeah, yes, I'm gonna blame you for that.
Thanks.
You totally jinxed him." It was great.
What next?
Okay, next question comes from Bulky, and Bulky asks, "Can we ban Ralph from coming to games?"
Well, you might. I mean, I might. I'm probably not going to be back until the Falcons game, and I might go to the Dolphins game after Christmas. So I'm only going to get hit two more games probably. So you might get your Ralph ban.
Do we want to take a minute to make fun of the Falcons while you just mentioned them?
I mean, Matt Ryan threw for 283 yards on 25 attempts, and they lost.
He threw for 28.3 yards.
Yes, he did.
Interesting.
They
Atlanta.
lost.
They lost. Yeah. I don't know, man. The Falcons losing after what the Saints just did is just feels less.
It's not as fun.
No, you can't make fun of them.
It's got to be the cherry on top of the Saints winning that Sunday.
Right.
For it to feel really
the
great.
The Falcons winning cannot be the entree. I mean,
No
the
Falcons loss is complete without a Saints win.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. I mean, come on.
It's good.
You don't feel if your team
good,
loses, if your
but it
team
doesn't feel as good.
blows a fourth quarter lead and loses in overtime, you don't want to at least take solace in the fact that the Falcons.
It does. It makes me feel a little bit better, but
yeah, it makes me feel a little better. I just don't really feel like I have room to be talking any trash.
What next?
Okay,
next. Kenny Albert. Butteridge said,
Oh, Kenny Albert. Oh yeah.
Kenny Albert, yeah.
He's old school, but not
he's old school, yeah.
I
don't think he liked Jonathan Vilma too much.
He's a hockey guy.
Yeah.
Okay, next question from Biloxi Blues. What is the best way to remove the Marlboro stink? A contract hit or a voodoo spell? Asking for a friend.
I got rid of Juwan Johnson. I cut him. He scored a touchdown. So his fantasy stink.
He's on your wall now.
Is gone.
Yeah,
but
he's gone from the fantasy team to the fathead wall. Yep.
Yeah, I got this. Here's the thing, though. I got the Saints defense, and I've played them every week. Do I need to get rid of them?
Yes.
And wash the fantasy stink off of them?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yep.
I mean, I had them last week. They scored a touchdown in New England.
Get rid of them.
I might, yeah.
See ya.
No Saints on your team, Ralph. You are banned from taking Saints players.
I've got the Buffalo defense.
More Falcons players, less Saints players on your fantasy team, Ralph.
What next?
Okay, last question, Andrew. Last question comes from who?
Badrich.
From Badrich. What are the likelihood of Sean benching Jameis for Taysom once Thomas comes back? Once I come back.
I would think that Michael Thomas coming back would make Jameis better. So I don't really see that. I would actually think that it would make more sense to play Taysom while Michael Thomas is out, just because of his running ability.
I think what we've seen from Jameis for 4 weeks, Dave, I don't see a scenario where he benched.
Dave has just been stuffing his freaking face all show.
I
mean, just going to town.
We are on brand tonight, baby.
We just talked earlier 5 minutes about Jameis. We went over his stats. I had nothing but glowing things to say. You guys made me feel like Jameis 1 of 1. So I don't see any reason why Jameis should be benched. I think he's been
No,
playing just
I agree.
fine.
I'm just saying.
Look at Dave holding his popcorn
Sorry,
bag like a
I had to
baby.
walk-
It's like he's like cradling it. It's like his one true love.
Like a
Do
small
we have words?
baby.
Thomas just spiked the ball in
Well,
Dave's face.
no, I was
Come on,
about to. I was
Dave,
about to
make
tell
sure
Thomas.
you burp your popcorn. Make sure you burp it.
I was about to tell Thomas.
Swaddle it.
Hey,
By the way,
Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
It's perfect.
This is why if you're listening to the show later, audio only, or you're in the live stream, this is why you need to support the show for moments like Thomas just did. That's what makes our live stream the best live stream in Saints Twitterverse or whatever.
History.
Nobody does.
Other live streams in the Saints Twitterverse?
They have live streams, but they ain't got sound effects. They ain't got video. They ain't got Sean Payton sound. They don't got Thomas dropping
The
sound
hotline?
effects. They don't got the hotline.
Oh, they definitely don't have that.
They got,
Can we
they
get
got
a Malta update?
They got
Get a Malta.
people's faces. That's it.
How are
We
we
got-
doing in Malta?
Yeah.
How are we doing
You
in
got a
Malta?
logo. You could be a sponsor. You could be the sponsor of the live stream.
Ralph.
Your logo goes here like a
Ralph.
law firm, accountant, something. We'll take your money.
Hey, Ralph.
He's in his own world.
Dave's food.
How are we doing in Malta?
We are doing terrible in Malta. We are 12th, and that is
Whoa!
I mean,
Out of the top 10.
Disgraceful.
That is
Wait,
shocking.
that does bring up a good point from earlier that you just hit on, Ralph. Yeah, any candy companies, if they want to sponsor, I will eat their candy on the podcast while we're doing it.
Yeah,
Just send me some.
We need to get that Kamara crunch.
Send me candy. That's cereal. I don't want cereal. I mean, I will eat cereal. I will eat it on the podcast.
He will eat anything.
Oh yeah, just send me, if you have anything to do with food at all.
Let's not pretend that you would turn your nose
Even
up
duck
to cured
food.
meats, Dave.
I really, honestly, the only thing I don't like is mushrooms. I don't.
We will whore your products / services on this podcast to an uncomfortable level. And we have over 25,000 people a month that listen. Putting it out there. So
If you have food and it's disgusting, bonus points if you send that to Dave.
Dog food, cat food.
Yeah, cat food.
No, human food. It has to be human food.
I bought my wife thought it would be funny. So she bought spicy crickets in San Antonio, and I will eat them on air if somebody comes up with a crazy, like a sponsor or enough subs or something crazy. I will eat them live on air. You just have to decide what ridiculous thing needs to happen for the Saints, and I will eat the spicy crickets on air.
It makes me almost want to vomit.
So,
Jim Moore.
all right, Thomas, we got to get to game predictions. I forget who goes first.
I think it's me. I go first, right?
Yeah.
As always, you forget.
Yeah. So we all picked the Patriots to win, and the Saints won, and then we all picked the Giants to lose, and then the Saints lost.
That's
so like we're on a 0 for 4. Like I'm hoping there's
0 for
some
8.
splits. We're 0 for 8 the last 2 weeks. I'm hoping there's some splits here
You
because
cannot pick the Saints. You are
I
not
know.
allowed.
Well, I did pick the Saints, and I'm a little nervous about that.
No.
Because if we all pick the Saints to win again, I fear how this goes.
You hate the Washington football team because they ruined your childhood. Like you don't hate them as much as you hate Atlanta, but they're probably like this team you hate.
They're probably number 2 most hated team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be another every game the Saints play, they can win, but they can lose. I think that's just the reality of where we're at right now, at least until some of these other guys get back. So I think the Saints are going to win by 1 point. That's what I picked them to win by. I think it's going to be very similar to this Giants game, and it's going to come down to who makes a play at the end. Yeah.
That's
Saints
not
by
what
1
you
point.
told me. That's not what you told me.
Yes, it is.
It did not sound like that on my phone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my phone.
Okay, you did. Okay, you did. My bad.
Come on, Thomas.
My bad.
Saints 21.
Thomas is falling apart like the Saints in the fourth quarter.
Saints win 21-20.
Too late.
That's
Too late.
what
It's 21-10. Too late. I make the call.
It was 21-10. He got the number wrong.
Andrew,
I said 21-20.
You need to be more confident. You need to be more confident.
I said 21-20. You messed
You
up.
need to.
That's
You
on
need to be
Thomas.
more confident, Andrew.
Yeah. All right.
Who's
my
your
star
star of the
My
day?
star of the day. This might be a good like Juju reverse jinx thing. My star of the day is Andrews Pete. he's gonna have a fat guy touchdown. Kamara's gonna fumble on the one, and Pete's gonna fall on the ball in the end zone for the game winner. There you go. Andrews Pete, MVP.
Dave, what you got?
You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I was unmuted, then I was muted, then I was unmuted again. This is honestly like when you, Ralph, and when Thomas message me in the morning on Monday mornings and tell me that you need my pick, like it's the most stressful. It's the most stressful part of my whole week. Like, cause I don't know. I have no idea what the hell is going to happen every weekend with these guys. I am really at a loss here. Like, I don't know which offense is going to show up at this point. Now I don't know. I used to be able to trust that the defense was going to at least show up. And so if the offense just showed up, then we'd have a good chance of winning. But now I'm concerned because I don't know whether the defense is going to show up. And like Andrew said before, like I don't care who's out for Washington. I don't care who's in. I don't care who's playing. I don't care who's starting. Like none of that matters. It really doesn't. I'm just throwing a dart at the wall, and I'm just going to say that the Saints are going to win. But I think it's going to be close too. I'm going to say 27-24. And I only said that because I thought we were going to be getting Lutz back this week, which we may not be. So I picked Lutz as my star of the day. But
when you bring him to camp, he looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
So I guess I'm just going to have to amend that. I'm just going to say Saints kicker, whoever's kicking for the Saints.
Well, you're picking Rosas. Wow.
I guess.
As usual, I completely forgot what I tell Thomas because the thing is, I have to send Thomas. I have to send him a rundown. I have to send him Sean Payton clips. I have to send him the hotline. Like I have a lot of work to do. And the pick, I just do it. But I had to look it up. My pick was Saints 24.
Wait, I fucked it up too. The score.
Jesus Christ. We're not paying him this week, are we? He doesn't get paid this week.
I blame my keyboard. I blame my keyboard.
Right.
Thomas.
That's one less sausage for you, Thomas.
24. So I said 24-20. What score did Thomas put? What score did you
take
do,
a guess? Take a guess.
17,
24-10.
7-6. I don't know.
He did. He put 24-10. I knew it.
24.
I just wanted everybody to have 10.
Math is hard.
Yeah.
Math is hard. And I did Callaway as my star of the day. I feel like he's ready to break out. And the Washington defense was supposed to be good, but they're kind of low-key terrible. Their offense has actually been carrying them to 2-2. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout probably Sunday. So I'll go Saints 24-20 and Callaway. So what did Kevin?
Is there any chance Kevin picks Washington? We can't go for.
I think he picked Washington.
We're about to go 0 for 12 in 3 straight weeks.
Kevin's a level-headed kind of guy. He picked Washington.
Come
on, Kevin.
He did pick Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, thank God.
So we won't go 0 for 12.
He's gonna save the show, and third of the game is gonna be like Kevin hates fishes, or so I heard. So he picked Adam Trotman, the big fish.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about Troutman.
Troutman needs to go. Juwan Johnson needs to play. Troutman needs to get fired into the sun. Like, I'm done with Troutman. I'm done. He's terrible.
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. That's it, and that's the end of the bit. Yeah.
Can we bring Josh? Can we bring Josh Hill out of retirement or something?
No, just mentioning it, he got a concussion. possibility of him coming back gave him a concussion.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
Can we talk about what I learned about the Throckmorton sign? I can't believe that we've never talked about this.
Yeah, talk about the Throckmorton sign. You've been dying to. Go ahead.
I brought my friend to the game this week, and he's a doctor. And he was getting such a kick that there was a guy on the team named Throckmorton. And Kevin, Andrew, you got to text your buddy at work and see if Throckmorton has ever heard of this. I'm assuming he has. But apparently, like in radiology, the Throckmorton sign is like if you take a scan of somebody's body or their pelvis, whichever way their penis is pointing is where like the problem is, like, if where the pathology is, and that's called the Throckmorton sign.
No way.
Yeah, here it is right here. A Throckmorton sign is when a man's penis points toward the side of pathology or fracture on an x-ray. So like if you're
way.
Yeah. So like if you're x-raying somebody like for a broken pelvis or something, like it's like superstition. It's not like a real thing.
Do you have this on your phone? Can you text this to me right? I'm gonna send it to him right now. Can you text this to me?
Yeah, but it's like a doctor thing. It's like superstition where like the penis always points toward like the side of the pelvis that's broken, or if there's cancer or something over there. Like,
so does Throckmorton's penis always point to the side that teams are going to blitz from?
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
Oh,
Yeah,
that might
gotta-
be
I'm
that
gonna
might
text
be the
you now.
pinnacle of the show. That,
Big
that,
one
that might
probably
be the best joke you've ever drawn.
Well, I couldn't believe that. We have doctors. Thomas Finke, and we've got Balky. I think is a doctor.
Yeah.
None of them.
Maybe
it's
they're
pronounced
fake
Fink.
doctors.
I thought it was
pronounced Fink, Ralph.
yeah.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, I thought it was Finky.
But
thought that was
I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Like if somebody tells me no, that's not how it is, I could be 100% certain, and I would say you're probably right. Like,
Yeah, I feel like
no
Thomas Fink or Balky, they need to weigh in on this.
They do.
Is
Well,
this
Tom,
legit?
Dr.
The Throckmorton?
Dr. Fink, he's the official Saints Happy Hour medical correspondent. We need official.
Yeah, and we need a ruling on this.
Jason says we've hit our peak. It's
Hey,
like Costanza. Goodbye, everybody.
Just checking my Twitter real quick. Curtis Johnson was on WWL Radio, and he just said that Mike Thomas and Traquan Smith both look ready to him right now. Said they're taking their time to make sure they're both players all the way, the right way, and don't get hurt again. But it sounds like both are very, very close.
Traquan, I forgot he existed. Like
Nick Underhill posted that quick video of Traquan on the sideline at the Saints game, and Traquan was saying 2 weeks. He'll be back in 2 weeks.
Fortunately, Ralph, opposing defenses sometimes forget that he exists also.
That's right. Look, and by the way, we got to get, before we get out of here, Thomas, I did it right this week.
Again, like last week you did it right too.
Last week too. Clip of the week. What do we got?
Hey, I'm watching Chargers Raiders right now, and I just want to point out that Jared Cook just made a ridiculous catch.
I don't know. You haven't been watching this whole game. I think he's like having like a hell of a game. I think he's had like 5 catches.
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
Can we trade Troutman for Jared Cook straight up?
Oh, we like him now.
Yeah.
Well, when compared to Troutman, yes, we do.
We just
Look, I'm lobbying for Josh Hill to come out of retirement. I'll take anything.
That's desperation. Maybe if the Lions fire Dan Campbell, they could bring Dan Campbell back as a tight end. So, what's the clip of the week? What do we got? We got gold this week, Thomas?
It's pretty creative. Like, I'm just gonna say the person that did the clip forgot to name it. Just a reminder, you can name the clips, but
That's right.
I will name it the Clipception, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
And the shake weight.
I'm eating.
I'm so crippled.
By the way, Green
Finally
Bay is
someone
winning
clipped me,
35-17.
Ralph
This is
Shuffle.
good.
Oh my God.
This makes,
Ralph Shuffle,
this
there
makes
it
the
is.
Saints look better.
That's
funny.
it.
That's funny.
Someone clipped the clip of the week.
That's pretty funny.
Meta
Clipception.
through the looking glass. So, thanks everybody for joining us. We had a ton of people. It was fun. It was fun tonight. It's gonna be okay. The Saints are fine. They're still gonna be in the playoff hunt. They're still gonna be a 8 to 11 win team, I think. Don't panic. Drink away your sorrows. If you want to panic about something, panic about LSU because
Go Tigers.
Jesus Christ, they are a fucking disaster. So, for Andrew, for Dave, for Kevin, who's MIA as usual, for Thomas running the show back in Poland in the middle of the night, he was fantastic tonight. He's the best. He gets the full plate of meat and cheeses. So, remember,
Well,
kids.
I don't know about that. He screwed up the score prediction.
Yeah, whatever.
Twice.
So, remember, kids, don't shoot your dick off. And until next week, the bar is closed.